I don't know what you think is coming in 24.
I know what's coming in 24.
Well, I mean, my money's on DeSantis.
We're rooting for Manchin and parliamentarian for the Democratic ticket in 24. These are the two most powerful people in our party. That's who should be our ticket. Manchin and parliamentarian. I don't know her name, so we'll just call her Prom. That's what I'm calling in 24.
Sean, what's your prediction for 24?
I'm not sure as of right now. Like, Trump is unstoppable juggernaut, it seems, at least in the Republican party. And, there's no way, unless you have a bunch of candidates running, which is actually a doable strategy in the Republican Party, not in the Democratic Party, due to the way that they allocate delegates, that DeSantis can steal it. I mean, I've put out the theory that Mitt Romney is coming back, and people are laughing at me. But if you think about it, in the Republican primary, if you win the primary, it doesn't matter what percentage of the vote you get. If you win 20%, but there's 30 candidates in the race,
right,
you get 100% of the delegates. This is how Trump won. He got 30% in almost every state. That was enough with 25 people in the field. Yeah. And then he became the nominee. So theoretically, if you have a bunch of people clogging up the Trumpian MAGA lane, DeSantis, who's running in that lane, Youngkin, who might want to run in that lane. Well, Youngkin, if he runs, will be running in that lane. Then you could throw out an establishment guy, and Mitt Romney wants to be president more than anybody in the United States of America. Make no mistake about it. He forced old man Orrin Hatch to retire so he could have that Senate seat. And he did that for a reason. He tried to be Trump's Secretary of State for a reason. So, it is possible that he could get a certain portion of the vote if he runs that strategy. Now, Romney is considered super toxic, but I do think he has a legitimate chance, or somebody like him, which, Romney's the stand-in for somebody like him. And he's not too old, because everybody running for president has to be, 80, apparently. That's the new rule.
Yeah. And, but it's funny because you're saying that. I think that the Republican primary is going to be such a fun freak show, because I do think you're going to have Kanye in there. I think it's going to be ridiculous. And because of that, it doesn't take much for somebody to win. And remember, Trump was having to stand up against people like Ted Cruz. Nobody likes Ted Cruz. I don't even think Ted Cruz likes Ted Cruz.
Well, people in the Republican Party hate Ted Cruz so much that the Ohio governor, John Kasich, refused to get out of the race when it was clear that Ted Cruz was the only other person besides Trump that could win, thus handing him the nomination. And people are saying, I'm definitely crazy for Mitt Romney. I understand that Mitt Romney's not popular and he shouldn't be the nominee. But if you're predicting a chaotic primary cycle where everybody's clogging up the Trump lane, then somebody as the alternative to Trump can succeed. And it's not like I suggested Lindsey Graham, who ran for president last time, although nobody remembers it. Like Mitt Romney's a guy with money. He can fund his own campaign early on, huge donor connections. And again, he could pull in 15% of the vote, which may be enough at certain points during the thing. And by the way, I don't know if Kanye is going to run as a Republican, but if he does, the Republicans make it a point to do debates on CBS and on MSNBC and CNN. So the Democrats don't do their primary debates on Fox News at all. So there's a chance that they would platform Kanye West on the stage against Trump, which would be amazing.
It would be ridiculous. Why not throw Herschel Walker in there for fun, for a real intelligent conversation? That would be like a Mensa meeting.
He's about to lose his Senate seat, so,
he should not be there. Okay, he was now just saying that people born after 1990 should have to earn their citizenship and their right to vote.
But again, he's been a sideshow from the very beginning. Yeah. And there is something to be said about Trump's decision making, but he really is just looking for acolytes that are willing to just do exactly as he says, and that's I think in many ways is that sort of conundrum that the GOP is stuck in right now, trying to figure out, what is the pathway away from Trump, which
would be perfect opportunity for someone like Mitt Romney to come in and remember me? Remember when Republicans were sane and didn't have mean tweets?
I mean, I if I wanted to win, I would choose Ron DeSantis. There's this guy's a talented politician. He looks even though Romney looks more presidential, I know people say this doesn't matter, but it kind of does matter, because people, whenever they ask who would be the best actor president, they pick George Clooney. Like, why George Clooney? Like,
but I could actually give you good philosophical and political reasons as to why George Clooney. But anyway,
but like, could you legitimately ideologically separate him from other actors in a way that was distinct, or is it because he looks the most presidential?
No, actually, I could actually distinguish. Like, he was like the only person that owned private satellite, so that he was keeping an eye on South Sudan from being able to commit a genocide. So like, this is somebody who was got arrested for fighting for something that he believes in. So this is somebody who is actually an activist. And so that is something to me that is different than just because he looks good. I'm like, this is somebody that has put in a lot of work. And
I've often said that the reason why DeSantis appeals to so many people is that when you get right down to it, it's all innately, humanely instinctual. People gravitate to leaders that want to kick ass and take names.
And no the truth is, have you seen the wife? Have you seen the family?
Yes, I saw his wife. I don't look into politicians' families, but I saw his acceptance speech or his victory speech, and I saw his wife. I'm like, oh, nice looking lady. Apparently, she survived cancer. You know, it's a winning combination. But also, DeSantis can govern, which is what if I was in the Democratic Party, I would be most scared of all. Because, you know, there's that story of the bridge in Pine Key that broke down during the storm.
Sanibel.
They had that bridge up and running in a little over 48 hours. Nothing gets built in this country ever without like 10 years of environmental impact studies. Now, I'm exaggerating because I live in New York, although California is significantly the worst in this category. But they were able to get that done. And, you know, before the storm, the media was trying to bait him into fighting with the federal government. And he's like, no, they were like, oh, what do you think about Biden, this or that? He's like, no, the head of FEMA contacted me. I'm on speed dial. We're working out a response. They declared the emergency before. So DeSantis really knows how to govern, and he can appeal to the base by doing things that are basically him running for president. Like that whole thing, which was labeled the "Don't Say Gay" bill, even though it technically wasn't. It was actually quite the clever troll because he linked it to third grade and below in order to get people to freak out. Like that wasn't really meant for education in Florida. That was actually meant to say, hey, I'm running for president. Like he's done a few of those things, like the tech censorship protection. We all know that a state isn't going to really be able to protect you from big tech censorship. But when he did that, he's like, hey, I'm running for president. This is what team I'm on. So he's in a great position if he runs in 2024, if not for the big orange man in the room. And I have a theory about Ron DeSantis that one of the reasons why he outscored Marco Rubio with the Latino vote is that people think that he might be Latino because of his last name.
Well, that's interesting. We live here, so we have been under him. And the one argument that actually Charlie Crist made that I think is valid about Ron DeSantis is, and this is something that I just don't like personally. I don't like it when somebody runs for a seat knowing they're going to run for another seat before finishing the seat that they're in. That's just personally, like, I've never liked that. It doesn't ever sit well with me. And that in and of itself would not be a reason for me not to support somebody, but it is a negative. I don't like that, because what you're doing is you're sort of like using us as a stepping stool and then leaving us with whoever is there with you. I don't know. I don't love that idea. I didn't like that Nikki Fried gave up her seat to go and do that and leave it up. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not finishing your job.
Few people are going to pull a Lee Zeldin and give up a seat that he flipped in the Congress and then held for like 3 or 4 terms and then run for governor with no escape route. But like this happens all the time in American politics. Like I understand this because I used to be a big fan of Jesse the Body Ventura. Still like
we are big fans.
Yeah, love the conspiracy stuff. But he's like, you should resign from your office when you run for a new office. And I understand that from like a gut level. But in reality, nobody does that. I mean, Obama was a senator, a first-term senator. He ran for president.
I didn't love that either.
Yeah, but Hillary Clinton actually used New York as a stepping stone to run for president. Like the Clintons are Arkansas based, and she just ran for Senate in New York because she knew she could win in New York. and then use that as a launching pad to run her presidential campaign, which was always the plan 100% of the time.
I got to tell you, Sean, I really do not want to hear anything about Hillary these days. I mean, did you see that I showed you this afternoon? Hillary just cannot give it up. She's still putting out things saying my emails and trying to make money off of that. It's she abuses me to no end, and God help us all.
Your impersonations are on point. I saw the chat react to your Bernie, and now your Bill.
He does a good Bernie too.
Yeah. Well, look, I got to come on here and just let people know that Hillary's thinking about running in 24, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to last, Jen. I'm kind of dying.
Why don't you go back to Epstein's Island, Bill?
I have never been there. I do not even know who that guy is.
Yeah.
And no, I had nothing to do with him not surviving in that New York prison.
Oh, yeah, he got Arkansas-ed,
no,
Bill.
He definitely, Sean, I definitely was not there when he met his demise. That's all I can say. Yeah. And no, I did not pay off any, jail cell guard or whatever. He just unfortunately decided he couldn't handle it anymore and decided he was going to tie his neck around a noose and have two guys hold him up. They were just doing him a favor. He didn't actually ask for that to happen. So just want to come on here and state my case.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.